Okay, we're looking at the Lesson 2 quiz. If you needed help, which of the following tables shows a rate greater than 1 gallon per minute? So we want it to be, we want to have a 1 on the bottom. Okay? So here, what number is this? Right, a 2. And so if we half this, we get 1. Okay? So we would have to half this, and half of 1/5, well, 1/5 is equal to 2/10, so 1/10. So that would not be it. Okay? Here, we see this is under 1 minute, and this is already greater than 1 gallon. So this is potentially it, but let's check the others. Okay. Here's 1 minute. Where is 1 minute? Well, here we see how many minutes? Right, this is 2 minutes. So if we half that, we get 1, and we half this one, we would get 6/9, which is not over a gallon. This one here, let's see if we can find a compatible number. When I say a compatible number, a number that can be made into a whole number. Do you see any of those that can be made into a whole number? Yes, this one. And what number is that? Right, 4. So if we divide that by 4, we'd get 1. We divide this by 4, 6/4 divided by 4 is 6/4 times 1/4, because how do you divide? Multiply by the reciprocal. 2 goes into 4 2 times, 2 goes into 6 3 times, and we get 3/8. Okay? So that is not over a gallon. So this one is your correct answer. Okay? Decide if each statement about the unit rate is true or false. Choose true or false. The ratio 5 to 1/7 has a unit rate of 35. Well, we just do the division, 5 to 1/7. We just do the division and then put it over 1. Do the division and put it over 1. 5 divided by 1/7. Okay, how do you divide fractions? Multiply by the reciprocal. 35 over 1. That is a unit rate of 35 to 1. Okay, because unit rate means to 1. So that is true. The ratio 4/7 to 8/9 has a unit rate of 9/14. So to get the unit rate, we just make it a fraction, do the division, put it over 1. Okay? 4/7 to 8/9. Do the division and put it over 1. So here's the 4/7 divided by 8/9. How do you divide fractions? Multiply by the reciprocal. So you take 4/7, keep it the same, change this to multiplication, and flip this. Cross simplify is your first step when you are multiplying fractions. So 4 goes into 4 1 time, 4 goes into 8 2 times. Multiply across the top. Hi.
Okay.
Yep, I'm making a video for my 7th graders.
Okay.
You can say hi to them.
That's great.
Thank you. Multiply across the top, multiply across the bottom, and you get 9/14, and that is true. Okay, so 9/14 over 1. Okay, so how is it that you find a unit rate? Right, you take the ratio, you make it a fraction, then you do the division, and you put it over 1. Okay? 2/5 divided by 1/3. How do you divide when it has fractions? You multiply by the reciprocal. Reciprocal means you flip it upside down. So it's keep, change, flip. See if you can cross simplify. You can't. Multiply across the top. Multiply across the bottom. This has a unit rate of 6/5 to 1. So that is false. Okay. The ratio 3 1/4 to 1 1/2 has a unit rate of 2 1/3. Okay. Well, here we have 3 1/4 divided by 1 1/2. Do the division and put it over 1. What's the first thing you have to do to mix numbers when you're dividing them? Make them to an improper fraction. 13/4 divided by 3/2. How do you divide fractions? You multiply by the reciprocal. Here you would cross simplify. Okay. 13 times 1 is 13. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 goes into 13 one time with 7 left over. Oh, it goes in twice. 6 goes into 13 twice with 1 left over. So that is false. You should always do these by hand and not with a calculator. Okay? Let's look at this one. The marching band walks 1/5 of a mile in 1.5 minutes. At this rate, how many minutes will it take to complete 1 mile? Record your answer on the grid. Fill in the bubbles. Well, we want to find 1 mile. So, therefore, we're going to put the mile on bottom. And we're going to put the minutes on top. Because distance over time. Remember, rate equals distance over time. Okay? And so how many minutes? 1.5 to 1/15 of a mile. What can you do to 1/15 to make it 1? Well, isn't 15 over 15 1? So we got to multiply it by 15. So here we have to multiply this one by 15. So 1.5 multiplied by 15. Well, I happen to know it's 15 times 15 is 225 because I know my squares. And we have 1 decimal point, so we bring it in 1. So it's 22.5, okay, minutes to complete 1 mile. Now, how many seconds is 0.5 of a minute? Okay, that's an important thing you have to know. How many seconds is 0.5 of a minute? Well, 0.5 is 5/10. And how many minutes are in an hour? Okay, or how many? So 5/10. How many seconds are in a minute? And that's 60. So we had to multiply this by 6. Oh, that's just half a minute, which is 30 seconds. Okay. I guess you would have known that automatically. But the principle still applies no matter what this point is. You could have it 0.7 or whatever, and you can still do this. Sanjay is making punch. He uses 1/3 of a cup of pineapple juice for every 3/4 of a cup of orange juice. How many cups of pineapple juice does he need to make 3 cups of orange juice? Okay, so it's pineapple juice and orange juice. So pineapple juice and orange juice. and this is 1/3 to 3/4, and we want to know how much pineapple if he has 3 cups of orange juice. Okay? So what do you multiply 3/4 by to get 3? Or you can just do the division and put it over 1 and then multiply it by 3. Either way. Now I know in order for this fraction to be 3, what does the top number have to be? Right, 12. And what would you multiply 3 by to get 12? Right, 4. So we can multiply both of these by 4 and get this answer. Okay? Because this, you would cross simplify, and then you get 3, and 1/3 times 4 is 4/3. Or you can just do the 1/3 over 3/4, put it over 1, and then multiply it by 3 to get your answer. So let's do this. 1/3 divided by 3/4, that would be 1/3 times 4/3, and that would equal 4/9. And then we got to multiply it by 3, and we get 12/9, which reduces to, can divide them both by 3, that reduces to 4/3. Okay, 3 goes into 12 4 times, 3 goes into 9 3 times. So 4/3. Is that the same thing I got here? Yes. So we know that's right. Okay, so how much pineapple juice? 4/3 of a cup. Or you could put 1 1/3 cup. Okay? Janelle is viewing an image of a sculpture. She enlarges it using a scale of 0.2 centimeters to 1/8 feet. How many centimeters in the image are used to show 1 foot of the sculpture? Okay, we want to find 1 foot. So foot goes on bottom because we're going to find 1 foot. So here we have 1/8 on bottom, and then centimeters are on top. Okay, what is 0.2 as a fraction? Well, this is 1 place value, so when we make it a fraction, we just put 1 0 on the bottom. Okay? So this is really 2/10. Okay? So we do this division. We can change this to 2/10. So we do 2/10 divided by 1/8. Okay? So we multiply by the reciprocal. Cross simplify, 2 goes into 8 4 times, 2 goes into 10 5 times, multiply across the top, multiply across the bottom. 8/5, which is the same thing as 1 3/5. So which one is that? Well, 3/5 is 1 6/10, so that's 1.6. Okay?